Hello everyone and welcome. I am going to attempt to do my first ever on-camera plan with me. Before I start, I wanted to show you what I've got in terms of planners. I've talked about some of these before. So this is my traveller's notebook. This is what I carry with me every day. And in that, we've got a diary section. You can see vertical layout, diary. This is a hack from an old diary that I had, and that's where I tend to put in appointments and plans and so on. And then my notebook, which I use, I don't know what kind of system, it's not really a bullet journal system, but it's a sort of thing that I do. This is the first time actually I've done a habit tracker properly for ages, and I did find that quite helpful. And then a sort of daily spread. This is A6. With work things that I need to do and other things that I need to do, and then if there's something in the evening, what that will be. And then at the end of that, I did a food plan for the week. I'm doing the blood sugar diet at the moment for the second time round, and I can only do that if I do a proper food plan. And then a shopping list. That's the sort of longer term things that I need to think about doing at work, some more work lists. And then today there was sort of shopping list and craft list. So that's sort of all of last week. So that's the main journal that I'm using for just everyday life. And that's what I'm going to be working on later. You've also seen previously, this is my happy planner that I'm using for my faith planner. I just wanted to show you, hopefully you can see these. These are the lovely stickers that Rachel from Ellybeth Designs has done. These are her word stickers. You can get these from her website. I'll put a link in the comments. They say things like Amen and pray and Jesus first. I plan to use that. And then she also does an option of custom stickers. And I said, do I have to have all the same? And she was like, yeah, you do. But before she said that, I'd already put a note saying, I'd really like 3 different kinds, 3 different columns. And she very kindly has done that. So I've got a column of stickers that are to pray, a column that say Alleluia, and a column that say Praise God. So those are obviously mostly going to be used in this faith planner. I don't think I've really got anything to show you in here that you haven't seen. This will be the spread for the week coming up. Obviously starting on the 21st, haven't started yet. So there's nothing in there yet. So I'll probably do a roundup with that at the end of the month. This is what's new, and I bought this because I've seen several people using it, and I did really like when I was doing bullet journaling in my launch term notebook a year or 2 ago. I found it's a bit of an effort writing out a different layout every week and every month, and it just sort of, you know, lagged behind. And I just thought, oh, this seems like a really great sort of in-between system. So it's got index pages, it's got year, calendar, it's got back to the key, it's got all the sort of things that you might want in a bullet journal. But then it's got, I'll just show you the one that I haven't filled in. These are the monthly layouts. So you've got all the dates here, and you can fill in the days of the week and what month it is, and you can space here if you've got a particular goal or focus or something you want to remember there. You've got a big habit tracker that goes through the whole month. Lots of spaces to add things there. Goals if you've got for the month, specific tasks that need to be done that month, end of the month review. And then, so it's not dated, at the end of all the monthly layouts, you've got weekly layouts. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Equal space for Saturday and Sunday, hooray! With hourly slots going from midnight to midnight to fill in what's going on that week. And I've been really enjoying watching how people are doing that with kind of colour blocking out sleep time and work time and all kinds of other stuff. And I think I really like the idea of doing that. And then there's also space around it to put in whatever else you need for your week. But then you also get daily layouts, and these don't have Saturday and Sunday, but you can see there's loads of space. So some people like to just fill that and have half Saturday and Sunday. I think I will probably do it so that's Saturday, and then for this, split this in half and have Sunday here, and then a section there for extra notes. And what I'm thinking of doing, because this, I don't know why I thought it wouldn't be. I knew it was bigger than A5, and it is bigger than A5. It's about 8 by 10, I think, and it's thick. and it's heavy, and it's not going to be something I want to carry around with me. So I'm thinking what I want to do with this is keep it in the office and use it for work, basically. So this is every day. This is all of life. At the moment, it's got work stuff in there as well. But I'm thinking actually this could be primarily for work. There's a lot of work stuff that happens with sort of long-term planning, and I think this would be a good way of keeping on track with that. So yeah, and then it can sit at the office and be my sort of work planner. So, but anyway, that is not yet in use. You can see I've set up the first month there, you might have spotted, for June. So this week we're still in here. So I'm going to take out my notebook. It's not obviously a classic traveller's notebook insert. It is a notebook that I bought when I was in London a few weeks ago and I had some birthday money to spend. It is a Christian Lacroix notebook, which I bought at Liberty's and therefore paid an enormous amount of money for. But isn't it so lovely? And the gilded pages, and it's really nice paper, and it's lined, but they're narrow lines and they're not too dark. So anyway, I'm using it in my traveller's notebook and it works perfectly well. I don't really know I think that might have just been a blank page. I can't remember. And I've just used some Cocoa Daisy paper, I think, and some Happy Planner stickers, I want to say. That might be wrong. And some other stickers. I don't really know what I used there, and just I stuck it in, but I also stapled it just to make sure it's there. This is the little washi strip that came in a set of Ellie Beth designed stickers. There were stickers on each side, and in order to fit them in the A6, I cut them up, and then I just used that rainbow strip from the middle to go there. This was I was experimenting with buying stuff from Wish, which was an interesting experiment. And I bought some of these deco tapes. They are like, you know, that sort of whiteout tape that you can get. They look like this. And it's like on a roll and it comes out. And I bought 3 and this is the only one that really worked. And it's got these little owls. And I don't really know what to do with it. And I was just like, I'm just going to use it up somewhere. So that's that. So let's get started. And probably I'm going to speed this up and do a voiceover, but I'm going to just keep talking in case I end up doing it all in one. So I'm going to leave that page and then maybe come back and put a habit tracker there, and we're going to start here with Wednesday. So what I've got, this was also from Wish actually, and I do really like it. I think you can get it in other places as well. It is washi tape, which has the days of the week on it in this really cute design. So we're not starting on Friday, we're starting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So let's start with that. And it's got a nice line, which I like to line up with the line at the top of the page. There we go. And just rip that off, and then we'll do Saturday. And Sunday. I always get frustrated with diaries and planners that don't give you proper space for Saturday and Sunday. I understand if you're mostly using yours for work and you work Monday to Friday, you might not have a use for that. But most people I know have lives that are also quite busy at the weekends. And I suppose you might not need as much space depending what you do, but I just find like I like to have the same amount of space for Saturdays and Sundays. And if they're empty, that's really nice because it makes me feel, oh, that's nice, I've got a nice quiet weekend. I haven't got very many quiet weekends coming up. I was just thinking about this. Next weekend is quite quiet. I've got people coming around for dinner on Friday evening, but I haven't got any plans for Saturday. Sunday will be church, but other than that, I haven't got any plans. But then after that, like all the way through June, every Saturday, pretty much, I've got stuff going on, some or all of the day. So, okay, I'm going to divide this up. I quite liked doing that. In fact, let's get some stickers out. And I like to use little header stickers to divide up the page. So let's see what we've got. Here we go. So this is kind of my work section. things I need to do. And then lower down I have other stuffs. Like tomorrow I know I need to go to the post office, and I'm going to go to the gym. So that is a very new thing for me. I joined a gym last week for the first time ever. I think it may be the first time I have voluntarily done exercise in my life. So obviously at school you were made to do some, and I went to the kind of school where you were made to do a lot of exercise, like really a lot, and I hated it pretty much all the way through, and there were various reasons for that, but I really hated it. And so when I left school I was just like, right, well, I'm never doing that again, no one's going to be able to make me, and so I'm not going to do it. And anyway, I'm now 44 and very unfit as a result. And a few years ago I did start going swimming on a sort of semi-regular basis for a little while. And I've always liked swimming, to be honest. I didn't love swimming lessons, but I didn't hate them as much as other PE lessons. And I liked swimming that was not PE lessons. So there was that. So I did do that for a while. But swimming's such a faff, isn't it? And I don't really like the pool where I live. So I used to go to one that was a bit further away, which at the time was sort of nearer where I worked. But I don't work over that way anymore. So it's a bit of a faff. I haven't got the right one. There we go, I've got one here. Actually that's Saturday, so I don't really need work stuff for Saturday. So I'm going to take that off, and I'm just going to have little things. There we go. And Sunday, and we might just have little things for Sunday as well. Lovely. Yeah, so anyway, I did go swimming for a few months, and I did notice that I got quite a lot fitter. I mean, I say fitter, I mean, you know, not out of breath when I go upstairs, that kind of level of fitness. But, what do I do for, yeah, I'm just going to write these in, the dates, so I know where we are. But that tailed off quite quickly. You know, I sort of away over the summer, and then I never got back into it when it was autumn, and then obviously it's winter and it's horrid, and the last thing you want to do is go and get wet and cold, and then I sort of never went back. Anyway, so like I mentioned earlier, I have been doing the blood sugar diet. I did it in April for the 8 weeks, and it was good, and I lost quite a lot of weight and started to feel a bit fitter as a result, because obviously got less to be carrying around. And I didn't really do any exercise with that, but I've just started again last week, and I'm going to do another 6 weeks properly on the diet, and I feel in a better place now to think, actually, I ought to do some exercise with this. He does talk about doing exercise in the book. If it's something that you're interested in, I do really recommend it. It's The Blood Sugar Diet by Michael Mosley, who, you know, does all this stuff on TV quite a lot. And I started doing it because I was beginning to get 1 or 2 symptoms that are associated with pre-diabetes, and pre-diabetes can obviously lead to diabetes, and diabetes is a really horrible disease, and I was a bit nervous about the idea of getting it, and I just thought, I don't want that. So I did it with a friend. We both had quite a lot of weight to lose. She has done incredibly well. She basically has just kept going since January and has lost a ton of weight, much more than I have. But we have both found that it's been much easier than I anticipated. So I'm not someone who spent my whole life going on diets. I did at one point try for a little while, because my doctor said you must lose weight, and so I'd lost a bit, and then like everyone else I put a bit back on, and then I put a bit more back on. I ended up, you know, a stone heavier than I had before I started dieting. So I just thought, well, that's a disaster, I want to do that again. But blood sugar diet, for various reasons, just worked. You lose weight quite quickly, which is deliberate so that it's more motivating. You're not eating carbs, which what I have learned is that carbs are actually what make you crave food. If you have enough protein and fat, or at least if I have enough protein and fat, I'm not hungry. And after the first couple of days of not having sugar, you quite quickly lose the sort of sugar cravings that you might have at the beginning. And, you know, sometimes for the first couple of days people get headaches and that sort of thing. But once you're through the first 2 or 3 days, honestly, I wasn't hungry. I was eating really delicious food. I was losing weight. You know, he says do it for 8 weeks. That's a really manageable amount of time. You can see the end coming. I would recommend it to anyone. It is a diet that doesn't have medical recommendation for everybody, and so if you are thinking of doing it, it is worth talking to your doctor if you have any other, particularly if you're on any other kind of medication. So a friend of mine, for example, who has epilepsy, talked to her doctor and he was like, no, you absolutely can't do this. And you know, so there's various conditions that you might have that would make it inappropriate for you to do that, but all things being equal, I would really recommend it. So so that's it. And I started again last week because I would like to lose a little bit more than I did the first time around, and I'd got quite lazy in the sort of maintaining it and so on. And as I was doing that, I was like, right, I'm going to go to the gym. So one of the things I'm going to do is put in some stickers to remind me to go to the gym. I don't often buy planner kits, to be honest. I don't tend to do decorative planning. I tend to do quite functional planning. But I did think this was just the cutest kit. And I will use some of those checklists, I think. It's got some of those functional labels. And, you know, the bunny is kind of cute. So I've got this, so I am going to use it this week. So let's start by putting some of this across the bottom. Anyway, it was not as frightening. Well, it was quite frightening going, but it was not as awful when I got there as I had thought that it might be. They were incredibly friendly and kind and really helpful. And they were very reassuring. They were like, no, it's not the kind of gym that's full of super fit people. It's just full of very ordinary people, some very unfit people, some who've got a bit fitter since they came here, that kind of thing. You won't feel out of place. And he was really patient and showed me how to use not all the machines. He was just like, right, I'm just going to start you with 3 machines. And this is how you use them. And he watched me and he kind of walked me through what a routine might look like. And so he told me, you know, what I should be sort of aiming for based on how old I am now and what my starting heartbeat was and all of that kind of thing. And so I went first just for the induction, and then I was like, yeah, do you know, I am going to do this, and joined up. And they do a very clever thing, which I thought was very sneaky, but very clever. If you go 12 times in your first 4 weeks, you get a month for free. So obviously they are invested in you, making it a habit and continuing your membership and carrying on going. But also, so am I. So actually, you know, 12 times in the first 4 weeks, 3 times a week. It's a lot, but it's a not a scary amount, and it's an amount, you know, you don't have to go for a long time every time, but it's an amount that will hopefully build a habit, and therefore, you know, at the end of that you'll want to keep going. That's obviously what they're aiming for, but I think, like I say, that's a perfectly reasonable thing for me to want as well. So I'm going to try to go and do that and claim my free month for July. So yeah, so because obviously I've joined in the middle of the month, so I've paid for the end of May and June, and then if I go 12 times, then they'll give me July for free, so that'll be good. Right, now let's have a look in my diary and see what things we need to put in here. I know there are some things we need to put in here. I don't think that I've got a lot of commitments in my diary this week, but there are 1 or 2. No, there really aren't a lot. There we go. That's good. Okay, so we're just going to get my Bible study stickers, which are in a different file, but I have got Bible study this week, and I need to remember it because I lead the Bible study, and so if I forget, it doesn't happen. So, let's have this. So that's obviously in the evening. I don't know, it's obviously, but it is in the evening. There we go. 7:45 p.m. and that will be at Andrea's house. Remember to do that. And then that seems to be more or less it. I've got art class on Friday. So I tend to have Fridays off, which is always fun. Let's have this little sticker for Fridays. And my favourite stickers are my day off stickers, which I seem to have hidden somewhere. Okay, I obviously, as you can see, do not have my stickers in the sort of most organised way that you see some people do, because I don't have enormous amounts of stickers, and most of them just live in the front of my traveller's notebook. But I do have some. I am going to use that green just to celebrate the fact that that is my day off. I just started working 4 days a week in May. It's gone up from 2.5 days, so I'm slightly struggling to get used to that, but it is nice to know that as well as the weekend I do still have a day off. So that is that. I might just put in some of these little cuties that came with my early best design. So on Sunday I like to do my planning, so we'll put that in there, various time to plan. On Saturday I tend to do my chores, so let's put in a little washing line. I don't think I need any of those. Let's have a little look here. Got some there. So I put in these on Friday, Saturday and Sunday because, like I say, I like to have the same amount of space, but maybe I don't actually do the same amount of stuff. And then I'm going to put in these checklists for windows. You can see I don't like to do colour coordinating. I like to do colour contrasting, which is much easier if you are not using a kit where everything matches. So I like to have it so it's all kind of bright and fun. And these don't really match with the lines, but that's okay. I wouldn't expect them to. This is not like a proper planner system. It's just a notebook I happen to use for planning. So that's all right. We'll put those in there. Actually, it's not bad. They do more or less match. Like that's 6 lines. 1, 2. Yeah, it's not bad. I think that'll work out fine. Okay, let's be a bit more subtle on Thursday and have blue with blue. And let's have some little falling asleep rabbits. Oh, I know, I'm going to do my food shopping on Monday, so I'm going to use that sticker. Because probably, well, I don't know, there'll be cabbages. I still don't really like cabbages. There might well be carrots, and there might even be a radish or two. So I'll just pop that there, and that sticker there, which says Tesco. Good. Now, a thing which I do need to do this week coming up is finish my craft projects for the county show. So it is our county show next week, and I don't enter every year, but I have entered before several times, and I do quite like entering in the handicrafts section. And this year, so it is quite a good deal. I always tell people this because people don't realise, if you enter, this is the Staffordshire County Show, if you enter for 4 or more categories, pay 50p per category entrance fee, so that's £2. Get a free ticket to the show, which is like 15 quid or something. I don't know, it might even be 20 quid. So it is definitely the cheapest way of getting to the show, I think. It's slightly arbitrary for me because my father is a Life member and he gets 2 free tickets every day and generally doesn't use them, so I probably could go free anyway. But still, quite fun. So this year I've entered 5 categories, and so far I've only finished 2 of the things. So I do need to work on those. I'm trying to think, what will I do? If I do the felted item on Monday, that should only take an evening. I've got a machine embellisher that I'm going to use, and I'm going to do a felted picture, and I should be able to do that in an evening. And I've got a plan for it, and I've got the frame for it. Tuesday, let us work on the wall hanging. So for that, I'm working on an embroidery which I started last summer and has mostly sat in the craft room untouched since last summer. I just got it out last week. It doesn't need masses, but it needs some embroidery and beading and embellishment and so on. Now that's Wednesday, so I'm not going to, that's Bible study, so I'm not going to get any done then. Thursday, oh, I know what else I've forgotten to put on here. Thursday, finish wall hanging. If it's not finished, hopefully it will be. And then I do need to knit the shawl. In fact, I should probably do that first because it will need blocking. No, it should be fine. I think there's time. Friday, I've got people coming around for dinner, so I need to put in a thing for that. Helen and Dawn. Dinner. Good. So in fact, I probably need to do my chores, housework mostly on Friday, so that the house is in a reasonable state for them to come. Right, let's use some of these. We've got the bin, which needs remembering to put out on Thursday. It's recycling this week, I think. Which I'm bad at doing, but I think it does need doing this week. I don't fill up a whole wheelie bin of recycling every 2 weeks, so I don't always need to do it, but I do need to do it this week. What else? Oh, look, there's a little washing up thing. Let's put that there. I think if I try and do that on Thursday as well, then that'll be better for when I'm doing cooking and so on Friday. I don't do the washing up every day. If I do it once a week, I feel like that keeps it under control. You know, sometimes I do more than once a week, but that's what I need to remember. Oh look, there's an actual recycling bin sticker, not just a normal bin sticker. Look at that. There we go. And because I really love them, I'm going to even hoover. There you go. I don't do that for everyone or often. I bought a new hoover from Argos in January, and a couple of months after I bought it, they sent me, because I bought it online and then went to pick it up. They had my contact details, and they sent me a follow-up email, which was very sweet, saying, you know, you've had your hoover for 2 months now. It's probably about time to think about changing the filter. And I was like, you're really overestimating the amount of times I've used that hoover that I bought. I think at the time I'd used it once. So it really didn't need the filter changing at that point. Now I'm going to use some of these little stickers which I had left over from the washi strip. Let's put So it turns out my camera will only record half an hour or so, and that went on for quite a lot longer than half an hour. So I just thought I would show you where it ended up. So I did do a habit tracker. I used this really, really lovely Cocoa Daisy washi tape. Some of it I cut down to make like mini tape at the edge, and then this sort of wreath themed washi tape because it's kind of summery. Monday, so then my 2 sections, I put in some of the things that I need to remember to do, and some of the washi tape along the bottom, and some of the stickers from the kit. This washi tape was a bit of a nightmare, but I'm glad I used it. I think it looks really nice with the sort of yellows and the oranges of the stickers from the kit. Friday, happy day off day, rainbow day. Saturday, I might do some gardening. I might not, but if I put it there, we'll see. And then Sunday, and that's how that ended up. Sorry it went on for so long. I will edit it down a bit, and let me know if you've got any questions, particularly about the bits I guess that you didn't get to see. or any of the things that I've used, or if you have any suggestions for how I could do things better. I guess this is going to change a bit next week, or maybe the week after, when I start using my bullet planner for work, and then this will just be personal stuff, and that might need a slightly different way of doing it. We'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching.